Quiet Place: The Road Ahead is a pretty difficult stealth horror game set in the Quiet Place film universe. It's the first game I've ever played that is completely and extremely based on sound. I mean, if you step on even the smallest item on the ground, it can alert the monsters. Today, I've put together 7 tips for surviving the road ahead. Number 7. Choose the difficulty that is right for you. The game has 4 primary difficulty options: easy, normal, hard, and survivor mode. Each difficulty level ramps up the challenge in different ways, making survival trickier. The higher the difficulty, the scarcer resources become, and creatures get even better at detecting sounds, leaving next to no room for error. Easy difficulty also has an ability that no other difficulty gets, allowing you to see the aliens through walls, which allows you to plan your way around them much easier. If you're new to survival horror games, I'd recommend starting on normal or easy difficulty. It's a great way to ease in without too much pressure. If you play horror games often, hard mode is probably a good place to start. Remember, in any single player game, there is never a wrong answer on difficulty. Choose which difficulty will make you enjoy the game the most, and don't be ashamed of it. It's okay if you can't handle the monsters lunging at you every time you kick a rock. There is also a feature I highly recommend for your experience. This is the open mic setting. It is set to off by default, and enabling it allows the monsters to hear your microphone. This makes the game even more immersive, as if you make any noise, they will find you. Number 6. Understanding asthma attacks and the stress meter. Another important mechanic to keep in mind while playing is Alex's stress levels. The main character Alex has asthma, and stressful events or strenuous activities like running too much can trigger her symptoms. If her stress level gets too high, she'll have an asthma attack. When this happens, you'll need to perfectly time your reaction to the on-screen prompt by pressing the button at the right moment to help her recover. There are 3 possibilities you can get when timing this. The first is hitting it in the red zone. This causes Alex to fall into an asthma attack. This is loud and you'll be unable to move. It's a death sentence. The second option is hitting the yellow circle. This causes the asthma to calm down for a bit, stopping the attack, but you will still be one step away from another one. And the best option you can get is the green circle. This very effectively reduces your asthma stress. There are a couple methods and tools to help you avoid these asthma attacks. The first is the pill bottles. These cannot be picked up and brought with you, and when used, will reduce your asthma meter. Use these whenever possible. Secondly, you can find inhalers. These are storable in your inventory and are emergency asthma lowering devices. If you are near a monster or any other reason that you can't afford to do the asthma minigame, use an inhaler. To avoid asthma attacks, run as little as possible and try not to hang out in areas that terrify Alex, like near the monsters. Now these aren't always possible to do, so as you play, keep an eye on the lungs icon in the top left corner of your screen. If it starts to turn red, that's your cue to use an inhaler and bring her stress down before things get critical. Keeping the asthma under control can be the difference between survival and becoming lunch. Number 5. Ration your flashlight usage. You'll be moving through plenty of dark buildings and wooded areas at night, so your flashlight will quickly become your best friend. It helps you see in those pitch black spaces, but it does rely on batteries, which Alex can pick up along the way. How many batteries you find depends on the difficulty level. On higher difficulties, they're much scarcer, so you'll want to use your flashlight sparingly. Since batteries are limited and need replacing often, try conserving them by only switching on the flashlight in the darkest areas. If you are hoarding batteries like I do, whenever you find a new battery, reload your flashlight and then pick up the new battery. This way, you'll always have as many batteries as you can hold without wasting any new ones. Remember, the monsters can't see, they only hear, so flashlights are very useful tools. If you are enjoying the video, please drop a like on the video to let me know. Number 4. Watch your step. In the road ahead, stealth is everything, so keeping noise levels low is crucial. Thankfully, you have the phonometer to track both Alex's sounds and the noises around her. This tool is a lifesaver. It lets you stop and adjust what you're doing if sound levels get too high, since loud noises can quickly attract the monsters. To keep sound levels down, always check the ground before moving. Areas with rubble, broken glass, water puddles, or other debris will make Alex's footsteps much louder. You can avoid this by walking slowly, crouching, or sticking to sand-covered paths. In this game, every sound matters, and even the smallest misstep can be deadly. Alex builds the phonometer early on, so be sure to use it as much as possible. Think of it like using your flashlight to see. Moving without monitoring sound is a big gamble. If you see a path with noisy debris, look around for a quieter route. Each step counts, so take your time and tread carefully. Always open doors and vents slowly. Believe it or not, this cost me my life more than once. Take your time with everything you do. Don't rush. Number 3. Decide in advance what items to hold. Alex can carry different items in each hand, so planning ahead is key. The flashlight and phonometer both go in the left hand, meaning you can only hold one of them at a time. Swapping items in the middle of tense moments can be risky, so think ahead about what you'll need. For instance, if Alex's stress level is climbing, be sure to keep an inhaler ready. If you're close to the monster, it's smart to have a throwable object on hand. Some levels also introduce new items, like flares, but remember, every item has its trade-off. Flares, for example, make noise that could attract the monster to your location. On the upside, flares can be thrown to lure the monster away, which might just save your life. Get to know the pros and cons of each item. This way, you can make quick, informed choices and boost your chances of survival. Number 2. Study and use your environment. In most situations, you won't be limited to just one path to reach your objective. For instance, there might be 2 places where you can find a plank, but you only need to carry one. Pay close attention to each route and pick the one that feels safer or more strategic. If your current path keeps leading to danger, try a different one. You may find throwable objects to distract the monster, or come across a more open area where you have greater flexibility. One route may require you to carry a plank, while an alternative path could allow you to bypass that entirely. Always analyze your surroundings carefully. Sometimes making noise is necessary, like if you need to break a window with a brick. Before you do, make sure you have an escape route planned. And keep in mind, the monster's behavior can sometimes work to your advantage. It might break down doors, walls, or even disarm traps, opening up new pathways for you. If you need to distract or direct the creature away, look for throwable objects like bricks. You'll often find them lying around in open areas, like forests, streets, or warehouses. Just pick one up and throw it in a direction to lead the monster away from you. Remember, even if the monster is close and your objective is in sight, resist the urge to rush. The creature is always faster than you and can kill you instantly, so stay cautious until you're completely safe. If you're near your objective and the monster is close, throw an object to divert its attention if you have one. If not, crouch and move quietly to a safe spot. The worst thing you can do is panic, run, and make noise. Stay calm, keep control, and you'll make it through. Number 1. Use the sandbags. Sandbags are one of the most useful items in the whole game. If you want to quiet your footsteps, you've got to be creating your own sand paths. Just pick up a nearby sandbag and pour the sand onto the ground as you walk. Walking on these sand paths really helps to muffle Alex's footsteps, making it much easier to move back and forth through an area. This trick is especially handy when working on a puzzle to unlock an area. Just like in the Quiet Place films, the sand paths are the best option for maneuvering around an active monster, and are definitely my number 1 tip for the road ahead. And that wraps up my top 7 tips for surviving in a quiet place, the road ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what tips you would share in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.